Okay. Hello, Ida.
Hi, Dr. Razan Hamid. I don't know why I had to say your full name.
Well, we're used to this, right? This is a great, example, like how we do things differently, even the subtle things, right?
Professionalism has become habitual for me.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming and for doing this with me. I'm excited. I'm thrilled that you came on board with this and you decided to join me on this journey. Um, and for those who are just, looking at this video, I'm just going to remind you, I'm Razan Hamid, the founder of the Arab American Occupational Therapy Group. And this is my lovely co-founder, Dr. Ida Koraitem, who will talk to us today about her personal life and like who she is and her personal life and professional life as well. And she will share a little bit about her experiences and adventures so far in the OT world and how that intersects with her Arab identity.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Come on board. Yes, yes. Okay, so before I start, Ida, you and I talked a lot about this problem. We've been talking about it for quite some time now. And we both agreed that this problem of having a hidden identity, like a very invisible identity in this society is burdening and can be overwhelming. And it comes with struggles. It comes with a lot of overlapping problems due to our intersectionality. And I do want to recite like one person that is so dear to me, to my heart, like, and I look so highly to her, Dr. Wendy Hildenbrand, who did say in her farewell address last year that if there's something worth doing, you have to act with urgency. And I couldn't agree more with her. This woman inspires me so much, and she's such a good leader and great inspirational leader. And I think she's right. We need to act with urgency on this issue. So before I get to know you a little bit, I want to take your thoughts on why are we doing this and what do you think of the issue that we're talking about?
No, I agree with you that those inspiring words resonate with us, resonate with me. I think that, what started off as a venting session to you, just a casual conversation, it was not a venting session of, there's just something that is not fitting. There's a disconnect. And I realized there's been a disconnect as a Arab OT student, an Arab OT clinician, and now academic. And I think now is the time for us to shed light on these needs, because I feel invisible. And I'm sure many of the other Arab American OTs feel the same way. So the time is now, and we have a good platform, social media, as long as it's used safely and,
Right.
and well. We have initiatives from our own governing body, AOTA. We have initiatives happening down the street. We're at a time where giving voice to those that need to be heard is pivotal. It's important. And I'll get to my experiences in a bit when you ask me some questions, but
Yeah.
this needs to happen right now. Gone are the days where we are just told to assimilate.
Right.
I'm excited about this.
I agree. Well said. And I think and us meeting and talking about this and inviting these stakeholders, I think this is a great first action step. So
Agree.
all right, let's dig in and know you a little bit better. So Ida, before we talk to you about who you are as a professional, let's see who the person is. So who are you in your personal life?
Where do I begin? So a lot of my friends know this about me already, but for those who ask me, Ida, what? That's an old name. Koraitem, we don't know that name. Where are you from? I then reply, do you have a minute? Because really, it's a loaded question. So I'm Ida Koraitem, Ida Reitem, Ida Gretem, depending on where you are in the Middle East. My name can have different variations. I'm a melting pot of all Arab countries, and my friends make fun of me for that in a nice way. I am the daughter of a Lebanese father, a Lebanese Egyptian father, a Moroccan Palestinian mother. And last week, my dad surprised me and said, by the way, I think we have Kurdish blood in us. So really, I'm Lebanese, Palestinian, Moroccan, Egyptian, and I was raised in Saudi Arabia and in the United Arab Emirates. I moved to North America for school. And North America, I say North America because I did most of my schooling in Canada, is home. At this point in my life, I have lived in North America for longer than I have in the Middle East. I'll get to my education in a second, but who else am I personally? A fun fact about me, before studying my undergraduate in Montreal, I actually wanted to apply to music school.
Oh.
I wanted to be a musician. I'm a musician. I wanted to go into jazz performing arts. But for those Arabs joining us today, know that that did not sit well with my father. So I had a good sit-down session with him there and did not end up applying for music school.
Obviously.
Yeah, but that being said, music is a huge part of my life. It is a meaningful occupation that I still participate in, day out.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah.
that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, you should have to share some of the talents at some point.
We'll have a talent show, like an Arab idol over
Right.
Zoom.
An
Over
OT,
Zoom.
an OT idol.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
that's great. So, from there, that's a great segue. Like, so you didn't go to music school, you ended up in OT school. Can you tell us a little bit about your professional life then?
Yeah, so my professional life started, my undergraduate degree was actually in athletic therapy and exercise science. So I did my undergraduate at Concordia University in Montreal, Canada. And through that, I became almost obsessed with human anatomy, biomechanics, and orthopedic rehab. And it was during my last 2 years where I discovered occupational therapy through my mentor at the time, who said, you should look into hand therapy. So with that, I discovered occupational therapy. I wanted to be a hand therapist, and I applied and got into University of British Columbia. So I did my master's in occupational therapy in Vancouver, Canada. And although I didn't become a hand therapist, I found my true passion was pediatrics. So I graduated from University of British Columbia and became a pediatric OT specializing in cerebral palsy and autism spectrum disorder. And I've been an OT working in that field for about 10 years. Fast forward, I'm now an assistant professor at Long Island University, the Brooklyn campus, and I teach the pediatrics courses, but I hung on to my athletic therapy passion because I teach human anatomy. And it's been amazing. I'm a child at heart, and working with the pediatrics population kept me young, mentally, not physically, because it's tiring. It's something I absolutely love. And actually, before my assistant faculty position, I've been in academia for about 2 years. Before that, I was a supervisor of occupational therapy in a special education school in the Bronx, New York.
Wow. Okay, so that's great. Like heavy courses you're teaching. So good luck
Heavy
with that.
courses, but with passion is fuel. It really fuels me. And to continue on that, I continued on my pediatrics route by doing my doctorate in occupational therapy at Columbia University, where I focused on cognition and executive function in children with autism spectrum disorder. And I'm continuing with that through research and through the courses that I'm teaching at LIU.
Right, that's great. And this is where we actually met, like at Columbia. Ida is as an alum, so this is how we got to see her. That's great. So I'm glad you did end up in music school.
Yeah, I'm in a far better place. Right.
That's great. I'm happy.
Thank you.
All right, so tell us a little bit about why you decided to join this group. Like I know why you did, but I think members would like to know, what is the drive here for you?
So the drive was so many different things. It was so many different things, but the main thing is I wanted to join this group to join a community of fellow Arab Americans, but also join a community of curious allies, curious clinicians, students who want to know a little bit more about us. So I really needed a sense of community. But from this group, I also hope we can establish and collaborate on professional development opportunities. We can create research opportunities and professional networking. because you and I, Razan, have said this before, and it's almost like a competition at this point. I know 5 Arab occupational therapists. I want it to be more than that, and I hope I can get that
Yeah.
from this group. You know, on my first day at Columbia University, first day of orientation, when the director at the time realized that I was Arab, it was like oh my God, you know, there's another Arab OT here, you should connect. I want that to stop. I want to know not exactly, but you know, I want to see my fellow Arab American occupational therapists, and I want our allies to see me.
Right.
That was
That's great. And I think I relate to your experience as well. Like, you know, the people I know are like, you know, all over the country. So I don't find a lot in one place. So, and I think part of it is like, because we don't know that we are like around. So, and I think that's why the value of this group is that it's bringing us together and like, you know, giving a platform for us to meet and talk about these issues. So I'm glad we're on the same page. That's great. Okay, so the next question is a little bit deeper. And I want to know your hardest experience being an Arab American occupational therapist.
whew. Yeah, that's deep and multi-layered, but it needs to be said. So as an Arab student in OT school, even in undergrad school, as a student, as a clinician, it was very clear that I had specific characteristics that set me apart from my peers, and that set me apart now from my coworkers, from my students and whatnot. And growing up in being a student in North America, I chose to assimilate. I just wanted to get through school. It's okay. I'll figure it out. After all, I don't look Arab. I don't sound Arab. So it was easy for me to assimilate to North American culture. But after years and years of that assimilation, I ended up on the other side feeling isolated, feeling invisible. And after years of doing that, I'm now at a point where my sense of self, my sense of being a citizen of 2 different worlds is dwindling. I'm confused. I feel unheard. I feel invisible. So the hardest experience was just for me to stay quiet and do what I need to do. And there is no one to blame for that. There is no one to blame for that at all. And, you know, here's the thing. There is no Arab look. There is no Arab sound in Middle East, in North Africa. And so the hardest part was the assimilation, the output being me feeling isolated and unheard. And I have to admit, it was getting tiring for me having to explain myself. Well, there are certain things that I do or don't do, certain fun facts about Arabs that you didn't know. And it was also it becomes very tiring for you to wear the misconceptions that people put on you when they do discover that you're Arab.
Right.
When my coworkers discover that I'm Arab and it would always happen informally or by accident, I can feel it. They are now putting an image on me, misconceptions, and that's also not their fault.
Right.
It's become tired to hold that. And we pass. Us as Middle Easterners, as Arab, Middle East, North Africans, we tend to pass for other ethnicities, which is fine.
Right.
But we're at a period in time where we don't need to do that anymore. And we offer so much.
Right.
We're pretty amazing. We offer so much, and there's so much diversity in the culture itself, and a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, well said, Ida. And I think I agree with you. The intracultural differences also are overlooked because to start with, like, you know, we don't have a well-definitive like group of who we are. And I think, as you said, and as another friend who said to me, there is beauty to not fitting in anywhere, but at the same time, there is such an alienating feeling that you don't have that power of the group. You don't have the power of fitting somewhere. Because when you fit in one category, like you feel like at least I have my community that I can talk to. And although we do have a community, we tend to be so diverse within our community that yes, we are one group, but we're not though. So that is a problematic. And I think I agree with you. And I think the bigger problem is because we're so elusive as a group, our needs are not identified in research, in a sociopolitical sense, in demographic sense. There's not enough attention given to the needs of the communities and the sub-communities within the MENA population, which is the Middle Eastern and North African. So yeah, I agree with you. So it's psychological, as you said. It is social, as you also said, and also it is practical and political. We need to be seen so we
Yes.
can have our needs met.
Yeah. And the other hard part is that our needs aren't even recognized in order to be dismissed.
Yeah.
So other communities might say that our needs are dismissed, but snahna, with us, they're not even being recognized to begin with, in order to be dismissed.
Yeah. And I think, we will offer to this group, some, informative material on why are we saying this. So once we talk about the different languages and dialects and the cultures and the subcultures that goes into the MENA population, then it'll hopefully will be more visible.
Absolutely. I'm excited for that because this is viral on TikTok, but you'll have, people from different parts of the Middle East and North Africa trying to say, describe a glass of water in their dialect, and it'll sound completely different. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
We should definitely do that because it's always so funny.
That will be so much fun. Even naming one thing, like, what do you call, grape leaves? We'll have a blast.
Oh, no, but wait, in Jordan, what do you call it? Dawali or what?
Dawali.
We say what I know. So
yeah, I know. So it's just, I don't know. And that is, I see the beauty of that. I think diversity is beautiful. And honestly, I always think like we have to embrace diversity, because with diversity we become whole. So with embracing the wholeness of diverse is beautiful, and when it's all there, it is whole. It's not different, it's not segmented, it's the opposite. And absolutely. I think this is what we have to work on within our community, and also bringing the Middle Eastern, the MENA community to the rest of our society.
I agree.
I could talk with you for hours, but we want to keep this as short as possible. So my last question for you is, what is your message to the members of this group or the allies joining this group?
First, I want to say thank you for joining this group, whether you have Arab heritage in you or not. And to our allies, thank you for joining this group, and thank you for being curious. My message to the group is to recognize that although we are witnessing turmoil all over the world, even in our own backyards, this is the time to act. Similar to what you just said, Razan, this is the time to act with urgency. It's really time we are at a point where we need to not only talk the DEI talk, which is a hot topic, we're at a point where we need to walk the DEI walk, really take action and really be held accountable for acting on the DEI needs. And I think this group is an amazing first step. You have the power to spread good information, accurate information. And as occupational therapists, our foundation is on evidence. Now, I'm not saying write me a scoping review about who says grape leaves differently, but it's a good starting point. My message is to also use this as an opportunity to practice asking questions to a diverse population from a place of curiosity and not from a place of judgment.
Right. That's beautiful.
And thank you. And I'm so excited for this group. And and again, to our allies, thank you for being curious. And I hope that you take what you can from this and maybe apply it to Razan. You've mentioned this before in your introductory video. Take what you can from this experience, from this group, and apply it to maybe another minority group or another group that needs to be heard.
Right. I agree with you. And I just want to say, like, you put it very nicely. I think it is time to walk the walk of DEI. And also, I'm all for actions, but I also want to say, like, it does have to be mindful action, calculated action that is effective. And it's not only based on passion, because this is important, as you said, this is hot and this is important, and we need to be taking this very seriously in how we approach it. So mindful, calculated actions that are mindful of all the stakeholders, you know, whether it's our group, another minority, marginalized group, OTs, OTAs, students, all, you know, across the gamut. So I'm all for that. And you said it nicely. Again, I'm glad we're on the same page. Hopefully we'll make a good team, and I echo your message to the members. Thank you so much for joining this group, and the allies as well. Please spread the word.
Please do. This is going to be good.
I hope
great.
so.
Yes.
I hope so. All right, Ida, I will be talking, and you will be talking to this group again. This is just an introductory video. I'm so glad you joined this journey, and I look forward to working with you soon.
Same here. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you to the group. I talk a lot, so you'll see me often. And
You're teaching. That's what you do.
I teach. Yes, I teach as well.
That's for a living. Exactly.
Yes. Thank you so much,
Great.
everyone. Thank you so much, Roseanne, for your time. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Thank you.